Okay, good morning, everyone. Why only 30 to 32 students are coming in every lecture? Yesterday also I told you, right? The same thing. Okay, anyway, yesterday we have started with the cellular communication, right? In a cellular communication, we have seen a video that how actually the mobile communication will work in a form of cellular, right? And we have started the theory of the same thing. Right, so almost video and theories are almost matching with each other. Just some detailing are there in the theory. That's it. Okay, so let me share the screen and let me show you what we have completed yesterday. And before starting the lecture, let me tell you that quiz for all of you, unit test 1 quiz for all of you is already being published. You can attempt it today from 3:30 to 6:30. 2 attempts are allowed. If any doubt you are facing while giving the test, kindly give me the message in the personal WhatsApp chat. Don't write any messages in a group, okay? It is not allowed. So everyone kindly check your canvas once more at 3:30. If you are not getting the unit test 1, actually I have identified all of the students and I have added all of you. So maybe today you will not face any problem, but still if you will face any problem, then let me know. Okay, and today I increased 1 more hour so that any problem if you face then can be resolved, right, within the time limit. Otherwise 50 plus 50 100 minutes you will want, right, to give the quiz, but I have given you 3 hours, 180 minutes. Okay, so prepare well for again the syllabus is same, 6 complete chapters, right, 1 to 6. And now let me go to the PPT. Yeah, so yesterday we have discussed up to, I think, capacity, capacity calculation, in which we have seen that if the number of channels are this much, right, number of users, how many number of users can be connected with that system, right? Next is the handoff. A very good example you have already seen in the handoff in the video, right? That if one car is passing from one area, one region to another region, then let's say in this car someone is using the mobile phone. So that mobile phone is receiving the signal from area 1 until it will reach to the boundary of this. So what they are saying that this overlapping, can you see this overlapping where two regions are connected with each other? So in this overlapping area, the mobile phone will actually controlled by both of the BTS. Okay, both of the BTS. But whenever it will start moving towards the area 2, the strength of this BTS will be higher, or you can say increases rapidly, and area 1 BTS strength will be decreases, right? So this procedure, whenever the mobile phone is moving from one region to another region, call will not be disconnected, call will be continue, and it will, the process will be so rapid that user will not notice it even. Sometimes it will not notice it even. Okay, so next is the roaming. So don't confuse between the handoff and roaming, both are different. Okay, so let me explain you what is the roaming. Roaming is when you take your cell phone to another city. Yeah, previously it was like that, right? In roaming will be applicable whenever you are moving your cell phone from one city to another city. Use it there to send and receive. Not always possible technically because of incompatible cellular technology. So what they are saying that if you are taking your cell phone from one city to another city, you want to use your mobile phone there also, right, to send the call or to receive the call, right? But they are saying that at that time, whenever the cellular technology was developed, at that time it was not possible technically because of incompatible cellular technology. Maybe limited procedurally because of high rates of cellular fraud in some areas. Yeah, why they are limited actually? Because of high rates of cellular fraud in some areas. In one of the areas, and handoff means you are moving to another small area. Control, mobile telephone switching office, MTSO. Someone wants to ask something. I think I received
Now please check your inbox.
a message. Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, actually, every Friday there can be this type of issue because I'm in the college right now and I'm using the Wi-Fi of college, so that's why this problem can occur. Yeah, I'm going towards the previous slide. So yes, what we were talking about, handoff and roaming, right? So I told you that a small difference between handoff and roaming. If you are moving from a small area to another small area, it means from one BTS station to the another BTS, then the handoff will take place, right? But if you are moving from one big region, like a city, a big city, one city to another city, then roaming will be applicable. Generally, right now, roaming can be applicable into, you can say that state to state, city to city. It depends upon the system, right? It depends upon the mobile system. What when they are providing a roaming, right? Or when they are charging for the roaming. Next is control, mobile telephone switching office. So MTSO is one type of control center, right? It controls all the type of cell sites and handoffs and etc. Right. So whatever procedure you are doing from by moving from one place to another place, those type of procedure like handoffs and which site, which area is there, so which BTS will be applicable, so cell site and everything will be controlled by this MTSO office. It's a office, right? It's a simple switching office where the switching connection or switching systems will be there, which will control all of this thing. Calls go to or from MTSO. So whenever you are connecting a call, so call will go from this office, as well as whenever you are receiving the call is coming from this. Why? Because I told you that older version of the telephone system were using this switching system, right? Switching system telephone. I have also shown you some photographs also at that time, right? It will connect to the POP to link to traditional telephone carriers. Now, let me tell you, this POP is nothing but presence of point. What does it check? That whenever you are you want to connect to one phone to another phone, the link is available or not, right? Because whenever you are connecting to another phone, it will require one line, one free link, free line through which you can do the communication. So this POP, presence of point, will simply check that the line is available or line is free or busy. Okay. Placing a call, how you are placing a call, how you are doing a call to another person. So enter number and hit send, right? And you are entering the number and here hit send is written because whenever you are connecting to the switching system, it will send a request to that another person, right? That someone wants to call you, you want to receive it or not. Okay. Cell phone broadcast request. So yes, cell phone broadcast request. As I told you that whenever you want to broadcast a call, the request will be sent. Several cell sites receive, send to MTSO. So what will happen whenever you are doing a call? Maybe you are in a region where multiple BTS can provide you the connection. Multiple BTS are having a control of yourself. So you can get the different type of cell sites. But now it will be given to the MTSO. MTSO will decide that by using which BTS the call will be connected. MTSO assigns cell phone to cell site where signal is loudest. So yes, you can receive the signal from 3 different BTSs, let's say, but where you are getting the highest signal strength, that cell will be assigned to you, that BTS will be assigned to you. MTSO sends message to cell phone via that cell site telling the phone what incoming outgoing channels to use. So yes, MTSO will actually decide that, for example, in a one cell site 7 channels are there, so which channel will be assigned to do the communication between the two mobile phone, right? So MTSO will send the message to the cell phone via that BTS, telling the phone that which incoming or outgoing channels that has to use to do the call. So this will be the procedure in the traditional telephone. Whenever you are doing a call, whenever you are placing a call, this type of procedures can be happening. Now receiving a call. So whenever someone is receiving your call, then what is the procedure? Right? In which different steps MTSO will work. So MTSO has each cell site broadcast cell phone's ID number. So whenever you are having all cells, or you can say all BTSs are connected with this MTSO, MTSO is having your ID number. ID number means your mobile ID number. Okay, so cell phone transmits a response. Responses from cell sites go to the MTSO. So whenever you are doing a call with this ID number, MTSO will send this ID number to the respective person, and that respective person will transmit a response. And responses again will go to the MTSO, and MTSO selects the cell site where signal is loudest. Again, MTSO will select which BTS will be provided, which signal strength you are, from which BTS you are getting the highest signal strength. MTSO sends message via the cell site to cell phone, giving channels and telling the cell phone to ring. Okay, so this steps, this MTSO will make the communication possible between two cell phones. While one of the user is placing a call, this many things will be done. Whenever it is receiving a call, then this many things will be done. Any doubt into placing a call and receiving a call to anyone? Whenever this system, switching system was introduced, this many steps needs to be followed. When MSC is used and when MTSO is used. Okay, so let me tell you, Suman, MSC and MTSO you can consider almost as the same thing, because MSC means mobile switching center, and what is MTSO? Mobile telephone switching office, right? So what is happening here? MSC is a center where the number of, you can say that MTSO can be there. For example, you can say that, let's say one center is there where a complex switching network is there, and that complex switching network will be handled by that office persons, right? So yes, you can consider both are almost the same. But whenever you are saying that a different type of telephone networks wants to connect with the another telephone, switching will be required, and that's why MSC and MTSO will come into picture. But yes, you can consider both as a same, no problem. Rainy Friday, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, any other students has any other doubts into placing a call and receiving a call? Okay, so next is whenever you are starting with the cellular communication system, yes, you are doing in this way, placing a call, receiving a call. But different generations are there for the cellular communication system. You all are aware about this, right? First generation, second generation, even 2.5 generation, third generation, fourth generation. Right now we are in the era of 4G and 5. Actually, we are in researching on the 5G also. Right. So what are these first generation and second generation? I mean, what is the advancement in different generation of the cellular communication? Okay. So in the first generation, yes.
Can you explain the previous two slides thoroughly?
Previous two slides means placing a call and receiving a call?
Yes, ma'am. The process once again.
Sorry?
Once again, can you go through it? I mean, can you
This
explain
slide,
once
no.
again?
This slide, no. Placing a call and
Yeah,
receiving.
placing and receiving.
Okay. So let me tell you what processes or what steps will be followed whenever you are placing a call. So from one cell phone, the user will enter the number and hit the send. Hit the send means it will press the request, right? That I want to connect to this person, this cell phone. So cell phone will broadcast the request. So yes, user is entering the number, but what cell phone will do? Cell phone is a transmitter, right? Or receiver. So cell phone will broadcast that request, and that request will be received by MTSO. right? So how MTSO will receive the request? So maybe whenever cell phone is broadcasting the request, it is in a region where more than one BTS are getting this request, right? More than one towers are getting this request. So all those BTS will send the request to MTSO. Now MTSO will decide that which BTS should be assigned for this telephone number or for this communication, right? So MTSO will identify that I am receiving the request from different number of cell sites. So which is the loudest or which is the highest signal strength? So MTSO will assign cell phone to that cell site. Cell site is BTS. Let me repeat it again and again. Cell site is nothing but a BTS. Okay. MTSO sends, so whenever MTSO will assign that cell site to the cell phone, then MTSO will send message to cell phone via that cell site. So what MTSO will do? Whichever BTS will be assigned, via that BTS, it will send a message that, okay, this is the incoming channel, this is the outgoing channel you can use to do this phone, to do this call. Okay, so incoming and outgoing channels will be assigned by MTSO. That is all about the placing a call. Okay, now by after assigning incoming and outgoing channels, a call is placed. Now it depends upon the other side, it depends upon the receiver, right? That they want to receive a call or not. So what will happen at the receiver side? So at the receiver side, MTSO has each cell site broadcast cell phone's ID number. So what MTSO will do? MTSO will send a request, right, that to the other cell phone that this person wants to call you, right? Via that channel, it will tell the other cell sites or other BTS that this person wants to call on this ID number. So ID number will be there definitely. And cell phone transmits a response. So yes, whenever it will receive that ID number, if let's say that person wants to receive the call, it will transmit a response. So again, responses from all the cell sites which are in the region, that will be go to the MTSO again. Now again, MTSO selects the particular cell site for the receiver phone. See here, MTSO has assigned a cell site for the transmitter cell phone. Here it will assign the cell site to the receiver cell phone. MTSO will send the message via the cell site to the cell phone, giving channels and telling the cell phone to ring. So what will happen after assigning the cell site? That MCSO will send the message to that telephone or to that cell phone via that BTS, assigning the channel, incoming and outgoing channels, and telling that cell phone, now this cell phone should be ringed so that other person can receive it. Okay, so this is the procedure will be done in the placing a call and receiving a call. So who was asking, is it clear now? Okay, so next is, I was talking about the different type of generations, right? In a cellular communication, different generations, the different type of features were updated, right? So in the first generation cellular telephone, analog or digital operation, both can occur. Actually, this is the history, okay? Don't read it so much, you can say carefully, because no one is going to ask you that what is the first generation cellular telephone or what is the second generation cellular, because it is so a common question, right, that can be given into the book, but no one is asking. So let me tell you just a simple detail about this first generation cellular telephone. Whenever first generation cellular or cellular communication was invented, at that time, it was analog. Initially, it was working on the analog communication. US states initially was analog using the AMPS standard. Okay, so now I think you have heard about AMPS. Does anyone know what is AMPS? Yes, does anyone know what is AMPS? Have you ever heard this word? Yes, Advanced Mobile Phone Service. Has anyone heard this? So let me tell you, it is nothing but a simple standard formed by US, right? US state that will provide communication into the telephone frequencies. Okay, so telephone services were provided by, first of all, it were provided by the US, and you can say it will use the analog system. And whenever analog system was there, the standard they were using is AMPS, Advanced Mobile Phone Service. Limited use of digital, cellular digital packet data standard. So CDPD standard was another standard which were use the digital communication. But at that time, the limited use were there. Let me tell you why the limited use of digital was there, because at that time, digital was not that much powerful. What is the meaning of that much powerful? Because whenever you are saying a digital, so digital can be of 4-bit data transmission, 8-bit data transmission. So it depends upon the capacity of the system, that how much data can be transmitted and how the data will be converted from analog to digital and everything. So at that time, that analog to digital conversion and transmission of the digital data and the transmission links for the digital data were difficult, right, compared to the this time, right? So at that time, digital use was limited. Europe and the rest of the world started with a large number of incompatible analog systems, but settled on the digital GSM standard. And finally, they have accepted that whenever they want to use the digital system, after some time, after some years, they have or they all have accepted GSM standard. Now, in the first generation cellular telephone, the cell size was too large, usually only 20 to 40 per city. Limits channel reuse, right? So whenever the cellular communication was simply invented, right, it was in the initial stage. At that time, only 20 to 40 cells were there per cell. It means 20 to 40 BTS were there per cell. So obviously, you can understand how much network issues limits the channel reuse. So obviously, number of subscribers cannot be more. Limited number of channels. So yes, frequency reuse was not there. So number of channels was limited. In US, 832 two-way channels were there. 832 channels were there. Only 832 channels. No compression. So compression techniques were not there. What does it mean? Compression is not there. It means you have to transmit a big data, right? So full voice signal needs to be transmitted. So it will require too much time, as well as you can say a specific channel to transmit that data. So yes, there were no compression techniques were being used in the first generation cellular telephone. So yes, obviously that was too much difficult. How many subscribers can you support? So if in the first generation cellular telephone, as I told you, that what is the limitation? 20 to 40 cells. So let's say we are considering one of the example, 20 cells. Channel reuse is about 3, that is 20 by 7, right? So channel reuse ratio will be 3. Total channels were 832. So let's consider that 832 is the number of channels. So with channel reuse, 2496 effective channels can be there. 832 multiplied by 3. So it will be 2496 channels will be there. 20 users per available channel. So only about 50,000 subscribers per city. So in one city, more than 50,000 users cannot use that cellular telephone. Okay, that was the scenario in the first generation cellular telephone. Now let's go to the second generation cellular telephone. So what was updated, right? So first of all, the service. Instead of AMPS, the service was now Personal Communication Service, PCS, Personal Communication Service. Or sometimes it is mentioned in terms of network also. So personal communication network also it is known as. So now the number of channels are increased from 832 to 2500 channels. In the second generation cellular telephone, first thing was updated is number of channels. Smaller cells permit more channel reuse. So yes, channel reuse was also there. Don't just say smaller cells, be explicit about the channel reuse. So yes, why I'm saying that smaller cells, because whenever you are doing a channel reuse, yes, cell splitting is also allowed. So one cell can be divided into number of smaller cells, that is a microcells. And compression was also there, compression of around 3 Gem1. It means the total data can be compressed 1/3, not more than that, but yes, the data can be compressed to 1/3. Supports more subscribers per channel. So yes, definitely number of channels are increased, channel reuse ratio is increased, compression is allowed, so more number of subscribers can be there. So some actually rough figures are given for the first generation and second generation about the capacity of the channel, right? So how many cells were there, channel reuse channels, effective channels, but no need to go into deep with this. PCS cell phones do not have to transmit as far because cells are smaller. So why PCS is important? Personal, see, whenever you have changed the standard, right? You have changed the standard from AMPS to PCS, then what will happen is that PCS cell sites will be of small areas. It means number of BTSs are more. Number of BTS are more. So if number of BTS are more means what? That the signal, whenever you are doing a call, that signal needs not to travel a much distance. So signal cannot be damaged much and it can be received properly to the destination. I repeat, what I want to say is, let's say in a big area, only one tower is there. Then what will happen? If you are doing a call from one place, then that call will be first go to the BTS. So that call signal needs to travel a long distance up to BTS. Then maybe whenever the signals are traveling a long distance, obviously the strength of the signal can be reduced and so many problems can occur with the signal, right? So whenever you are using a PCS, personal communication service, this type of problem can be resolved because it cannot have to transmit as far because cells are smaller. Inverse cube law, if triple distance 3 raised to 3 or 27 times the power required. Yeah, it is not required in the mathematics, but let me tell you what they want to say is simple. In one area, if you are putting a 1 tower and if you are putting a 3 towers, then what will be the difference? That difference they want to explain, right? That difference will give you the proper networks as well as the power required and everything. Cell phones can be less expensive because use less power. So yes, they are saying that if you are keeping a less distance, it means what? Signal is traveling less distance. So signal will require less power to transmit up to BTS. So if signal requires less power, it means cell phones can be less expensive, right? Because whenever cell phone is transmitting a signal, that signal will require a power, right? So if power requirement will be reduced, cell phone price will be reduced. So that was explained in the PCS. Large number of possible subscribers, but vendors try to avoid simple price competition by offering more services made possible by digital technology. So you all know, right? In a different type of cell phones, smartphones, they are increasing competition into the mobile phones, and how they are in a competition market, they are increasing the number of facilities, and how the facilities can be increased by a digital technology. So as digital technology come into the picture, they are offering more and more services to the users and they are increasing the price more. Most of the world standardizing on DCS technology based on GSM and usually called GSM. Let me tell you what is DCS. DCS is nothing but digital communication service. Okay, digital communication service based on GSM and usually called, it is also known as GSM, right? So DCS and GSM are same. In US, FCC did not specify a standard. Different carriers use different technologies. So yes, they are saying that in a US, they are not using the, all the cell phone services are not using the same GSM technology. Different carriers are using the different technologies. Some have standardized on GSM, some have not. Okay, so maybe your cell phone may not work with the another carrier. So if your phone is GSM based, and if you go to the US and let's say in some of the service they are not you can say recognizing or following the GSM standard, then your cell phone cannot work with that service. Limits the roaming, yeah, it will limit the roaming effect. Data initially limited to about 10 kbps, 100 kbps coming over second generation systems in some countries. So data rate, actually it is mentioned that how fast your data will be transmitted from one place to another place. Data transmitted means cell phone, if you are doing a call, you are hearing the ringtone immediately, right? The speed is very much high. So whenever generation will be updated, the data rate is also increasing. So from first generation 10 kbps to in a second generation it is 100 kbps. So now third generation, it is not new for all of us, right? Maybe 2G can be new for you, but not for us. We have used 2G so much, right, in our college time. So yes, now it is third generation with which you have started actually, and maybe someone has started with the 4G directly, right? So third generation mobile phone, smarter devices will have the power of a small PC, right? Very much less power will be used. You all know that in your mobile phone are very light in a weight is because of the battery requirement. So your mobile phone are working, not more than 4 to 6 volt. Greater number of uses like data, including internet access, graphics, video, so many features are available into the third generation mobile phone. So the international mobile telecommunication is a standard which will be used by third generation mobile phone. European LED standard, actually European lead standard is known as for 3G generation cellular. So this IMT standard is nothing but a European standard for the 3G cellular phone. And data rate is increased up to 3 Gbps. Can you assume in a second generation it was 100 kbps, and right now in the third generation it is 3 Gbps, right? So data rate is too much fast. So you can connect to the another person very rapidly. You need not to wait for some time. Okay, so in the fourth generation, you all know, right? So fourth generation is not explained here. I have explained you first, second, and third generation because maybe some of you are not aware about this. So this is all about the cellular communication which is required. And one question is, how can I know that there is a degradation of generation cellular? Keson, I'm not able to understand the question. Degradation of generation cellular, how? Keson, can you hear me? I'm not able to understand your question properly. So you can please reframe it and type it again into the chat box properly. Okay, any other students have any doubt into the cellular communication? I think some student has asked me some of the questions yesterday also. Yes, some students were asking me some questions yesterday, and I told you that whenever I will complete the theory, I will take those questions. So can anyone tell me what was the question you want to ask or you wanted to ask me yesterday? Anyone? Any questions regarding cellular communication? How we will calculate the number of channels? Okay, Suman, let me tell you, a number of channels are nothing but how you can divide your frequencies. So for example, if you are saying that your mobile communication is having a bandwidth of, let's say 100 gigahertz, for example, I'm just taking an example, okay? So how that bandwidth will be divided into number of parts? Suman, I repeat, have your total bandwidth of the mobile communication can be divided into number of frequencies, number of different frequencies, right? That is known as a channel. For example, let me show you in the mobile communication frequency range. For example, you will search, then you will get that the mobile communication works in the 850 megahertz to 1900 megahertz. So what does it mean? That let's say this is your frequency band of 850 to 1900 megahertz, right? Let's say this many frequencies you can use to transmit a signal. So what you are doing actually from 850 to 1900, how many channels you can make? how many small channels can you can make. So what actually it is known as frequency division. It is simply frequency division, right? So how properly you can do a frequency division to make more available channels, that is all about the channels. Okay, so it is not a calculation, it is a number of channels which can be used without interfering, without cross interference between two signals. So what will happen whenever you are dividing this number of frequencies into number of channels, if you are keeping it very nearby, then maybe interference can occur. So this interference needs to be removed. So how the system can remove the interference properly by connecting the nearby channels. So that will decide, okay, that how many number of channels can be there. Is it clear, Suman, or any other more doubts? Any other doubts, Suman? Suman, do you want to ask the same question? Okay, ma'am, the range is fixed, right? So for every telecom company, the number of channels. No. Frequency range is fixed, Suman. Number of channels cannot be fixed. Number of channels can be decided by a system. So for example, if telecom company is deciding that I can divide this frequency range into this many channels without any interference, right? So they have to work on it. It will be very difficult if you are dividing the whole frequency range into so many number of channels, because when and it will be needed if you want to increase the number of subscribers into your telecom company, right? So number of subscribers can be supported only if the number of channels will be increased, frequency reuse and all the things can be increased. Okay, so is it clear now, Suman? What about channels and BTS relation? See, whenever you are saying that one BTS is there in one area, right? So that what that BTS will do? BTS will receive the call from cell phone and it will pass that call to the another cell phone, isn't it? So this BTS will assign one channel for the incoming call and one channel for the outgoing call. So it means cell phone needs some channels for the communication, some frequencies for the communication. So this BTS, actually not BTS, this MTS or MSCs are assigning the different channels to the different cell phones for the incoming as well as for the outgoing. Yeah, it will be duplex. Yeah, two-way communication should be possible, right? Then we all know, right, our cell phones are working in a full duplex mode. So yes, whatever channel will be assigned, two channels should be assigned, one for incoming, one for outgoing. Or whatever one channel will be assigned, that will be divided into two frequency range. Kaison is saying that wireless communication or cellular traffic. I request all of you, if you understand the question what Kaison is asking, then please tell me, because I'm not able to understand that. And when confusion is there, when receiving a call, first the channels will be allocated for duplex communication and then the phone will ring on receiving side. First, the channels will be allocated for duplex communication Yeah, definitely. See, if the channels will be allocated, then and then the communication, or you can say that that ring can be heard by the transmitter also, right? Receiver will receive the call, right, with the incoming channel, and transmitter will receive the ring, right, by using the outgoing channel. I think that Ashish was also asking one question. What are the SIM numbers? Okay, Ashish, let me give you the answer by your friends only. Yes, the students, other students. Does anyone know what is the SIM number? What is the meaning of SIM number? Subscriber, yeah, I know. Subscribers identification model. That is correct, Yograj. So let me tell you, SIM card is nothing but a simple, you can say the unique combination of numbers, which will be assigned by not the phones, assigned by the telecom companies, right, or manufacturers. So what they are doing is, why they are assigning this number to every you can say SIM card, because whenever this number will be assigned, that number is nothing but a code. That code is also known as IMSI code. You can search it. Okay, that code is also known as IMSI code. So what that IMSI code will determine, what that SIM number will determine, that which kind of device you are using for this SIM card. So whenever you will insert your SIM card, your device as well as your location and everything can be traced, right? So SIM card is a very important code which will define that in which kind of device you are inserting your code, and generally it is used to trace the location and trace the phone or trace the device, right? Whatever you are using for that SIM card. Yeah, it's a number, but actually for the telephone company it's a code. For you it is a number, right? But for telephone company it is one code by which you can be detected, your device can be detected. Okay, right. So any other question from other students? Okay, so let's see one small video and then we will start the satellite communication in the next lecture. Okay, tomorrow. So let me show you one video of satellite communication. Okay, just a minute. Suman is also asking some question. For that, will not the MTSO check the channels available or channels which are free for mobile to use? So to do that, how will they communicate the MTSO and the same point? See, MTSO is nothing but a simple switching office. What it will do, it is connected with all the BTS of that area. What MTSO will do, MTSO is connected with all the BTS of that area. So whenever cell phone will do the call, BTS, via BTS, MTSO will receive the request, right? So MTSO will check that from where the highest signal strength is coming, that BTS will assign to that cell phone, and it will assign incoming and outgoing channels also. Then it will send a request to the receiver phone. Yeah, Kaison, you can give me a message, no problem, that will be good. Okay, so MTSO or MSC is connected with the BTS, and BTS is connected with the cell phone. Okay, so this is how the communication will be done. So okay, see one video. Actually video is of 12 minutes. so I think it will not be played today. So can we start it tomorrow only? That video we will see tomorrow. Okay, very important video which will show you the animation, how satellite can work. Same like cellular communication, I'm going to start with the video for the satellite communication and then I will tell you the theory of that. Maximum number communication is this one. So after that number of subscriber, what will the company do? Sorry, I'm not getting. The SIM number is of 10 digit. The maximum number communication is this one. So after that number of subscribers, what will the company do? No, Suman, what are you talking? No, Suman, it will not be like this. Okay, I'm giving your answer. First of all, whenever I will give your answer, other students kindly write your enrollment number if you don't have any doubts. And then after writing the number, you can leave. Everyone write your enrollment number and then you can leave. Yes, you can leave if you have written your number. Okay. Now let me come back to the question what has been asked by Suman. Okay, fine. Suman, first of all, do the calculation properly. The combination of numbers for 10 digit, how many combinations will be there? It will not be 3,62,880 because we are using a decimal number system, right? So almost you can consider that crores of possibility, or you can say combinations are possible, right? So kindly do the calculation properly. 10 times 9, right? That will be the number of combinations. And one more thing I want to tell you, that whenever you are doing that combination is only for one country, right? That combination is only for one country code. So for that country code, that many subscribers are more than enough, right? But for the other countries, the code will be changed. Country code will be changed, right? So before 10 digit, whatever the country code will be, that will determine that combination. So it will be different. Is it okay, Suman? First of all, do the calculation properly. Yeah, it will be approximately 9 Arab. Yes, Sun is right.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Chinyadi.
You said in the SIM card, the phone number which is given to us it serves as a code to the company, and our locations could be traced using the same code to the company. Now my question is, suppose I'm having a SIM card on the phone, I use the phone for a while, and then I take off the SIM card from that particular phone. Is it possible my location could still be traced even when the SIM card is no longer inside the phone?
No, it is not possible.
It's not possible.
No, if SIM card is
But
not connected, yeah, definitely SIM card is connected with the mobile phone for some time,
okay.
right? But what that time will be again fixed, right? That time depends that how much time is required to trace your location. But if you
So
will remove before tracing it, then only by using the SIM card it cannot be detected.
okay, so but the last IP address where my phone was used could be detected. The last place I removed the SIM card could be detected.
Yeah, it can be detected.
All right. What about the coordinates of the phone? It won't be recognized again, even if I take off the SIM card. The coordinates.
Sorry,
So
can you
suppose I
repeat your
put another
last
SIM card.
question? Yeah.
Suppose I put a new SIM card. The last coordinates of that particular phone, it can be tracked.
It again, I told you, no, it depends upon the time. How much time you have inserted that card into the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
They use BTS tower location for tracking, I think. Ma'am, is there a global controlling office for a mobile codes? Mobile codes means you want to say Segni about the SIM number or what? Yeah, it will be there. Definitely. For tracing, one more department will be there which will take care of these things. Right? Because again, it will require different technologies to do it. Okay, so who is pending for the attendance? Don't forget to write your attendance. And leave if you have written your number so that I can trace that who has not written their number.